I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Emmett. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, my friend and yours, Angel Ortega. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. And by a lot, it was a technical thriller on Saturday night in Mexico City. A technical thriller in the main event. And by that, I mean not a lot actually happened. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about UFC Vegas 105. We'll talk about Joe Piper's comments about Mexico City. We'll talk about everything, Zack Snyder and more on this episode.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to hit in the news. But nonetheless, folks, few sponsors of the show, Rogue Energy, ELYXR, and our friends over at BetMGM. Rogue Energy keeps me filled up whether I'm at the gym, I'm at home, I'm going through work. They can help me get to the finish line. They can help you get there as well with code SOUNDOFF at checkout. Code SOUNDOFF when you spell the brand's name at checkout, all caps, for 10% off. ELYXR, they're going to get you really high with their Delta 9 products. They've got I've always said this. They've got a huge variety of stuff over there at ELYXR. So go ahead and follow that link down below. Again, code SOUNDOFF. You spell the brand's name at checkout for 10% off. Lastly, BetMGM. Folks, we give our predictions every week on this show. If you want to go ahead and follow that link down below and tail us and go ahead and make a little parlay for yourself, have some fun. We got UFC Vegas 105 coming up this weekend. Follow that link down below. Get it to $1,500 in bonus bets paid back. It's if you don't hit on your first bets at BetMGM. Contact 1-800-GAMBLER if you're having any issues. But if not, you want to have some fun with us, follow that link down below. Yeah, man, it was a good night for the favorites in Mexico City on Saturday night in the arena CDMX. Back for the first time since last February in the main event. Again, Brandon Moreno. Man, what can you say about the Assassin Baby? Coming through, getting a second win in a row. I'd say largely dominant. Steve Erceg had some moments, but for the most part, it's kind of Brandon Moreno dictating the action. Hurt him in round one. And yeah, at the start of the show, I said it was a technical thriller. Not a lot actually really happened.
Well, no, the reason I'm laughing is because I wanted to say this on the show, and I don't know if you believe this, and we'll probably make a clip out of this.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you seen that there's some Steve Erceg truthers out there?
Some people thought Steve Erceg beat Brandon Moreno?
Dude, I have seen not just one, but several accounts of it. I know it doesn't show it on here, dude, but like going through Twitter, going through YouTube a bit, clicking on comments, I've actually seen people trying to make, I'm not saying I necessarily agree with these comments, but trying to make an argument that Steve Erceg had a backdoor fucking victory.
I don't agree. I could see how they could go. This fight, there were a lot of rounds. I say like rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, not a lot actually.
I think I need to give it a rewatch.
Yeah, it was a weird fight. I didn't think Steve Erceg won. And you said some accounts. I mean, what accounts? Like fucking at Stevie Wonder? Like,
no. It was just some rant. Dude, I would just click on comments and I'd see people being like, "Oh, they got it wrong. It was 48-47." Mentioning the 49-46 scorecard that was given on the night. Yeah, like there were some Steve Erceg believers out there, and to the people out there who are watching right now, like, did you think Steve Erceg won? Do you think there's any sort of compelling argument you can make for Steve Erceg?
12% of fans did think he won. 12% of fans on MMA.
I will say, I checked that percentage a day or two ago. That has gone down. That was closer to 15% not too long ago. And how many votes are on that right now? Because last time I saw it was about around 150.
Only 169 scorecards have been submitted.
Okay, so that means
12% of 169, not a whole lot.
So that means there's been around 19 more votes added. Because when I saw it was around 150, 140, just to give you a rough idea.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't see that at all. I mean, I thought Steve Erceg, he did great to rally back from round one. I thought you can make a case from winning round two. I thought he definitely won round 3. I thought Moreno closed out well, though. He had the pressure, and Steve Erceg going backwards. He kept on trying to set everything up with the jab, and I think this fight showed just the skill difference level, honestly, because like Brandon Moreno wasn't doing a whole lot, but he had better setups. He was throwing more shots, more combinations. Steve Erceg, his 1-2 is money. We know that.
And he's in a disciplined Moreno, too.
The issue is, though, is that Steve Erceg on Saturday night, he wasn't doing much more than the 1-2. You know what I mean? He tries to set everything up with the jab, and if he can't land the jab, there's not a lot that's going to be following that up. And that was one of the things I noticed on Saturday. He just didn't have the activity. You know what I mean?
By the way, Moreno breaking the stat. I don't know if you saw this, but it was a former champs, which granted, this stat is one that if you look into it, especially with the reign that some of these champions had, it's a different story.
Okay.
That champs are 1-6 on the year. I forgot who was the one who won. I can't remember off the top of my head. I can't remember. But it was former champs are 1-6 in the year. Moreno did not add to that stat, so You know,
so now what?
They're 2-6.
Yeah. I mean, I can look this up real quickly. We can go ahead and see past events. So let's just run it down real quickly.
I wish I could find it somewhere.
We'd have to go through like every card, but we could just.
I think it's on the year. By the way,
I wonder, do they count Justin Gaethje in that stat because he was an interim champion?
That's a good point.
Because he won.
Cejudo
lost.
Let me look. On the
Sean Strickland lost, obviously. Who else? Jamal Hill lost. Yuri, I think.
Okay, here we go. As of April 2nd of 2021 or 2025, my bad, not 2021. UFC champions in the first half of the year are 1-6. Islam Makhachev, Alexander Volkanovski, Enriquez, Jalen Turner. My bad. What is this? My bad. I'm looking at the wrong list here. My bad.
Oh, okay.
But I did find it. That was correct. Now they're 2-6.
Okay, 2-6. All right. Well, yeah, man. I mean, and in this case, Brandon Moreno just. Yeah, I mean he's a bad man. I still think he might be the greatest guy at 125 pounds who's not named Alexander Pantoja. And we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out though, because man, we got Horiguchi coming. We got the Gooch on the way back. You know, like if Flyweight's popping right now, man. Flyweight's popping. Let's talk about the loser of this matchup. Obviously, Brandon Moreno says he wants it. Obviously, just got close out of Brandon Moreno before cutting to the loser. Brandon Moreno says he wants a title shot. He wants to fight in the main event of the Guadalajara card, UFC Noche in September. That's not going to happen, right? Like he'll probably fight on the card, but title shot's unlikely, probably.
Oh man, we kind of skip past Steve Erceg a little bit here because I'm kind of.
Oh yeah, I was gonna do him next.
Okay, we'll get to him then.
Yeah,
I was gonna say because this topic's gonna take a minute to talk about too. Yeah. I was gonna say something that got brought up, and I heard this through MK. And once again, I know we reference these guys every week, but they produce great content. I try
one of the best, podcasts in the sphere. I don't think it's that crazy for us.
No. But I want to give credit where credit's due. But they brought up the fact that they're like, dude, who's gonna headline that card? Because start thinking about it. What are their options really?
Their options, and
it's a Mexico-based event. Your dream is for Yair Rodriguez, Diego Lopez to win.
That's a good point. Yeah,
that is your dream to win, or for Volk to win and Yair to win. But even then, though, it's kind of
a weird rematch to
kind of do, especially with how that fight went.
Beat the shit out of him. Yeah, I mean that's a tough one.
And you could do Diego Lopez Pitbull. Granted, it's two Brazilians, but it's one Brazilian that's been living in Mexico a long time.
I mean he has a
Mexican citizen. He's kind of been adopted, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, man. I mean, and you look at it. I mean, Grasso needs a win, and she's already booked for May. That'd be kind of a close.
And there's no current Mexican champion. You know what I mean? Unless you do like an interim title.
You know what's crazy? If they didn't just book Merab, I was gonna say you could do Brandon Moreno against Merab. Doesn't sound that crazy. It sounds a little bit crazy, but with the context of Moreno can't get a title shot at 125, but he's beaten basically everybody else, similar to Pantoja. So you can't, but he's already lost to Pantoja 3 times. Can't book that. Merab, who else? That's why they're booking the Sean O'Malley match.
I'll give you their idea, but it's very. I mean, obviously, once again, they have to pull certain strings in certain direction. But their idea was make Royval Moreno an interim matchup in Guadalajara and let the Kaikara Pantoja fight happen. It's the only way you can get away because it's a numbered event. That's the thing. It's a pay-per-view.
Such a
But what are you doing?
Title fight that needs to happen. Like that's
a fight that does need to happen. But I'm going to say it's not
in a title position.
Not like that. No.
Yeah. What? They're 1-1, right? Moreno and Royval, or did? Yeah, right. Royval got hurt the first time.
But those guys are 0-5 against
Pantoja. Yeah, exactly.
0-6 if you include the
tough fight.
The tough fight from Moreno. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I always include it. I mean, I understand it's not a pro fight, but it's.
But it's part of their history,
yeah,
you know.
Exactly.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's no good option. That's why I said like the Merab Moreno thing sounds like crazy, but like whenever you have no good options, you know what I mean? Like, but even then, Merab just got booked, and I don't think he'll want to fight. Even if he beats Sean, I don't think he'll make the turnaround from June to September. Maybe he will, but
and the thing is, you do have guys who can fight on that undercard. The issue is, it's who's going to be your main event or co-main event.
Exactly.
You know?
The issue is not the undercard guys. Mexico actually has a lot of depth when we're talking like guys on the rise. You know what I mean? Yeah. Contenders, former champions now. They just don't have anybody in that position who could like headline as a huge draw and also be in a position to fight for the title.
Because you're going to be seeing a lot of the same names who fought tonight fight in September as well.
Exactly.
But the issue is who's going to be those guys who could be headlining the card. Like obviously you do think of the Morenos in that, but the thing is it's a number event. Usually pretty much every time there's ever been a UFC card, it's always been attached to a title or some form of a title.
Or it's been a fight with a huge draw and a big money fight. Conor against Nate, fucking Jorge Masvidal against Nate Diaz. Funny enough, Nate again, but like Masvidal, Colby, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Big fights. In this case, it's like there's only a few title fights you can make, and none of those fighters are of that drawing capability.
That's what I'm telling you. They're going to have to do some sort of interim title scenario.
ELYXR Grasso versus... I mean, even then, it's like you're hoping ELYXR Grasso wins. But even then, how much... You can't put ELYXR Grasso versus Manafaro at the top of a card. You just can't.
Unless they make some crazy thing like Yair fights a 155er. You know what I mean? Like
Yair fights
Dustin Poirier for the BMF.
No, you know what? Hold me out. Hear me out. I think I figured it out. Yair, if he wins, which I think I love Patrice Pitbull. That's just a terrible matchup. First fight in the UFC, man. And holy shit. Especially 37. That's besides the point. I think Yair wins. You book him against Max Holloway, 155 pounds for the BMF title. The headliner of No UFC.
Their first fight
of the year contender. It's been 5 years now since they fought. Think about it. It was COVID. That was 2020, 2021.
I have very fond memories of that night.
Yeah, same here, actually. So, yeah, I didn't think about it until right now.
And they fought in the Apex.
They did, yeah.
In a crazy ass fight. Yair could have won.
One of the greatest fights of that year.
So you're a wrestler now, Max Holloway.
And let's talk about it too. I remember he got like mowed at one point. Max Holloway is like slick ground skills. People don't talk about it. Man, it's slick. But yeah, man, he's currently unbooked. Maybe he'll end up fighting Dustin in his retirement fight. That's been rumored, but
I think you got something there. I think you actually just gave a very compelling idea.
It was November 2021. 4 years. It'll be 4 years later. I think I just cracked the code, Angel. I think I just cracked.
Brandon Moreno, Brandon Roybal, co-main event, 5 rounds. You don't have to make it
No, you don't have to make an interim title because it's in the co-main event.
And you could get away with 5 rounds with those guys?
You could put Grasso on there. He could fight regardless.
You know, you got your typicals, Raul Rosas, Torres.
Yeah.
You know, Lazy Boy, so on and so forth. All Edgar Char, pretty much everybody who's already in front of me.
Yeah, dude. I think we just figured it out. You can thank me later. Because everybody, but that's the issue too, though. It's like, how long is Max going to win?
Also, you need Yair Rodriguez to win in this scenario.
That is true. You need him to win, and I think he will. But it's like, dude, you can't count out Patricio motherfucking Pitbull, man. I mean, that guy's just unreal.
Granted, though, maybe if Diego wins, maybe they'll just run Diego versus Bozar and Guadalajara.
Exactly. They could do that because he has the Mexico connection. But the point being is, like, they do have options. It's just, like, a lot needs to go right for almost any of these options to work.
Yeah, because if Volk wins, Pitbull wins, and
it's like, Volk wins, Pitbull wins, Grasso loses, who else? I mean, Moreno gets an injury or some shit. Like, the UFC in 2025 is not having shit go their way. So it's perfectly in line for that shit to happen, you know?
They'll cook something up, though.
I hope they can move on to Steve Erceg. This is the issue, right? You push a guy to a title shot who maybe he'll even perform well, but it's a bit too soon, and there's a lot of factors that go into it. Now he's stuck in the position where he does have to face like top tier guys as a former title challenger, and we're kind of starting to see the levels, and it's tough, man. What do you think about Steve Erceg? Now riding a 3-5 lose streak, which seems crazy just a year ago.
I mean, dude, his last 3 opponents, Pantoja, Kai Kara-France, and Brandon Moreno. I mean, that is hell for any 125er to walk through. Yeah. And credit where credit's due, man. I mean, he pushed it against Pantoja. He gave a good technical matchup against Moreno. KKF went obviously unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his UFC run, I gotta give him credit. It's been a wild ride. People were saying, has it been mismanaged? Is it the UFC's fault? Maybe they stepped in and done certain things differently. But granted, I think he wasn't even originally supposed to be in this bout, right?
Yep, correct. He's supposed to fight Asuoma Balayev.
Yeah, so I mean, number of different things. I think right now, though, I feel like for him, and I think going forward, maybe like, let's slow it down. Let's take some time. You're 29. The title's not going anywhere. You're established in this division. I think there is a market for him. I think people do like him. I think that with due time, he can build up again to a title within the right circumstances, especially in a division that has that for a while there, we were kind of like, dude, we need something or someone to break through, because a lot of these top guys have already fought each other or matched up against each other.
Yeah.
You know, he needs to, you know, take care of that in some capacity and hopefully get some wins on the board and build up again towards the title.
Yeah. Yeah, man. He has a lot of work to do, and I don't necessarily think that he's at a position where like he can't bounce back from this because he's 29 years old. I think that's the thing that sometimes people don't really remember. The guy is 29. The guy picked up MMA. This is gonna date, you know, make me feel old. He picked up MMA whenever he saw Frank Mir fought Brock Lesnar. That's literally whenever like he's talked about it before and in like interviews and shit. I still think the sky's the limit. I think he might even still be a future UFC champion. Just take a tune-up, dude. Like, you know what?
Even his first fight was on short notice against David Dvorak in Canada. He wasn't scheduled to be on that fight. He took it on short notice, flew from Australia, came in and did the damn thing.
Exactly. And here's the thing too is I don't really know what the right fight for him is because flyweight's fucking like there's a lot of depth. There are no easy fights in the flyweight division.
That's the thing too. I'm like, what's a good one to maybe get him in the groove, push him, but makes sense.
Funny enough, I bring this guy up all the time. Like not only because I like him, but Charles Johnson. That guy's like not even ranked. That guy's a dog.
Granted, though, he's out of the rankings. Though I feel like if I think if Erceg is wants to continue being in the rankings to be competitive, he needs to fight within the rankings.
Yeah, I think the fight probably one that would be awesome, and it's kind of a let's see where both guys are, and it's not a tune-up for either guy, but it's like let's just see. Kaya Sakura, how do you feel about that? Ranked number 15.
That's number 9. That's a wild fight, man. I mean, it's a good. It makes. I think it probably makes sense.
But you want to see Steve kind of be like, all right, we're fighting a Suma Chiri type, you know?
You know, maybe, right? I mean, let's look at their 125 rankings.
He's ranked number 9. Below him, Tiger Ulanbekov, who's rumored to be fighting the Gooch, but not confirmed. Tim Elliott, Bruno Silva, Hamzat
No bullshit. If I was his team, I'm like, we want to fight Bruno Silva next.
That's a good pick. Bruno Silva.
He's coming off losses, too.
I believe so, yeah. Coming off of a loss to Manel Cape. Prior to that, he beat Cody Durden. He beat Tyson Nam. And pretty up and down.
I was gonna say he's an up and down guy, but he's also shown some level. But I don't see him as a major
rank
threat.
Number 12. I think that's a great fight to make.
And it's down the rank. It's giving also that guy an opportunity to move up.
Exactly. So
there's risk and there's reward both ways because it lets Steve Erceg kind of get back in the groove, and it gives this guy the opportunity to maybe go up in the rankings.
Exactly. And I love the Astro Boy, man. I still think he still has a lot of potential. And even here, stepping up,
it's such a unique story.
Yeah, I mean, he went from fighting in the UFC Apex against Aswan Mablai, more of a grappler, to fighting more of a stand-up boxer type in Mexico City, fighting on enemy territory, and the dude didn't blink.
The thing is, I gotta say right now, out of all the 125ers, one of the realest motherfuckers in the division is Steve Erceg. You gotta think about it. This guy came in. I said it at the start of the show, or previously here in the show. Mm-hmm. He came in on short notice to Canada to fight an established David Dvorak, who was ranked. He was an unknown coming into the UFC, all the way from Australia. I mean, I don't know what other. Outside of in Oceania, what other relevant outside of like Kai Kara France, what other relevant 125 we had. I can't really think of any others. I'm sure there has been, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. On top of that, he fought in the Apex. He went into enemy territory once again, and fought Pantoja in Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then he goes into Mexico on enemy territory once again and fights Brandon Moreno in his in his home country. He hasn't gotten that benefit yet, and hopefully at some point he gets a fight in Australia, somewhere in Oceania, and he can get love from the crowd because I think he is deserving at some point of getting that sort of love because the guy's been a company man, dude.
Yeah, he I just got a big email. I'm sorry. I'm just a little bit. I was listening, but it's something to me. I don't know if I can't legally say it. I want to say it on here so bad, but I can't legally say it.
I think it'll be hyped to get to the end though, and you just get to.
Oh my god, dude! I'm so hyped right now. I just got it, and holy shit, dude! It's way better than I thought it was gonna be. But the point being, we're gonna roll back in, even though my life just got dramatically improved. So here's the thing with Steve Erceg, like you said, the guy doesn't blink. I think that's one of the reasons why I respect him so much. Fought Pantoja in Brazil, winning the Lions Den. As a guy, only 3 UFC fights. Then again, he went from fighting the opportunity to fight a grappler at the UFC Apex, kind of a get back really against Aswan Mablai, a guy with potential, but not too sure, to fighting Brandon Moreno in Mexico motherfucking City. The guy's a dog, and I still think he's a lot of potential. So let's just get him a get back. You said Bruno Silva. I think that makes sense. I like that. And we'll move from there. Guy who has a lot of potential. We'll move down to this co-main event. Manuel Torres.
Oh wait, it wasn't awesome, but he fought Alexander Costa and Matt Schnell in between after David Dvorak.
No. I mean, like he was booked.
I gotcha.
He was booked to fight Osman Live.
My bad.
No, you're good. So, yeah, man, in the co-main event, Manuel Torres knocking out Drew Dober. Stoppage, some people thought it was weird. I thought it was fine.
I mean, this fight went pretty much as I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, I mean, Drew, like I said, whenever we made the picks, I'm like, Drew Dober's a dog. If this fight would have happened 2 or 3 years ago, maybe I'd pick him, but it looks like the chin's been cracked, and now it's definitely, he is dealing with the receipts of every time he goes out there now, and it was a tough one to watch. And I love Drew Dober, but damn, Manuel Torres, that kid's got some, I say kid, he's 30. El Loco got some promise, though, man.
I mean, his only loss in the UFC is Bahamondes is not ranked.
He's a dog, too. So, I mean, yeah. Guy's got a lot of potential. I don't have a whole lot to say, but it was an entertaining fight like I wanted to see. The real fight I really wanted to see, if I had to stat rank him, right? Main event was number 1. Number 2 was canceled. Joe Pyfer, Kelvin Gastelum. Joe Pyfer pulling out and saying Mexico City was a shithole, blaming him for, like, he blamed him for getting sick. He kind of hinted that he didn't really want to fight at the elevation either. And it's like, you guys, I'm sure most people have seen the comments. I mean, what do you make about that whole situation?
I think I counted, dude. I think 12 or 13 fighters who were not from Mexico fought on this card.
Yeah.
And they had no issues.
Yeah, you know what's strange? Like, a lot of people from the U.S. had no problems here. Like, kind of weird, right?
Well, not even just that. You also got to think about Steve Erceg, who came all the way from fucking Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Jose Medina from Bolivia. You know, the Brazilian fighters. I mean, there's, you know, I mean, I could, you know, you could go on and on and on and name everybody else who fought from different parts of the world there. Hey man, so be it. I mean, things didn't work out for him. I think more than anything, he was just upset. Didn't know how to deal with the emotions. He's an emotional human being. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of like they say, a lot of fighters are very emotional human beings. You know, and he let his emotions out. I think they got the better of him and made the comments he did. Maybe he'll look back in hindsight and be like, man, I don't regret it because I said it, but maybe it wasn't the best way to address it at that time on the internet the way I did.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And look, I had a tweet actually go like kind of mini viral or whatever. I even had somebody like from high school hit me up like, dude, I saw your tweet on MMA Twitter. Like, just he's got like 5,000 or 6,000
really?
likes.
You didn't even tell me about that. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, dude. Clown shit. I'll say that. I just didn't like it, man. Joe Pyfer, man, I like him. I've always liked him. I said that like in his entire run, and this doesn't make him a bad person or anything. Like, I just disagree with him on this. Like, I think this guy has a lot of potential, and I hope that like this is something he can work past. I'll put it like that, because the guy has a lot of potential and very hard hitting, and I thought he would have won this fight. And to go out there and essentially pull out and be like just blaming Mexico City, it's like, dude, like shit happens. I'm sorry, man. Like, but there was a lot of stuff that we could have done to not get to this point, including like getting meals from the PI. That was an actual issue, or yada, yada, yada. So didn't like it. As far as the rest of the card, though, some banger performances. Edgar Shair picking up a big win over CJ Vergara. Love to see that. First round stuff.
Do the post-fight interview, right?
Yeah, dude. Guy is electric. And this is what I was saying at the top of the show earlier. Flyweight, there are no easy fights. This kid, I believe, currently unranked, right? He's not ranked yet.
No.
Yeah, there you go. Just another example of just guys at flyweight.
His run's been weird though. Like, he had like a no contest in there.
Oh yeah,
with a rematch, then this fight, and then I think like he fought two. I think he fought Van, and I think he fought Tatsu Atara. I think if you go down, maybe.
Yeah, correct. Fought both of them, and there's no shame in losing to either one of those guys, man.
As I'm saying, like his run's been pretty insane.
Yeah. Also on the card, Raul Rosas Jr. defeating Vince Morales. That was a big one. And Raul Rosas Jr., you're seeing the development, right? He had a little bit more trouble than some people would have liked to see
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end in round 3. Looked gassed out a little bit, but still, I mean, he came through, beat a guy who's been around since like this guy was fighting in Bellator whenever Raul Rosas Jr. was in diapers. So I mean, anytime this guy goes out there and gets a win, I'm like, you know what, good for him, because it's like, dude, it's like the Chase Hooper type shit. Whenever Chase Hooper was on the rise, like, you're so young, every fight's important to your development. And he gassed out here, but it's like, okay, well, now I know what to do in the years moving forward, because this kid's 20 years old.
And he's going a little bit, and you've seen it in this fight and the last fight, he's going a little bit more for the stand-up, doing more stand-up things, kind of experimenting, not instantly going to the ground. Like, and you see where it's headed to. And and think about like in another 5 years what that could be at, you know, and how good he could be, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, man. He's
far from a finished product. That's what I'll tell anybody anytime. Like, Brandon Moreno is not a fighter he's not a complete fighter yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man. Still a lot of potential though, and he's so young. So
because people try to be like extremely hypercritical, like if this is the end of the road, you know, like he's not gonna get any better.
Yeah, like people act like shit is just static, like it never moves, you know. Like, no, man. Like, guys improve, they get better. Like, that's life, man. People are always changing, they're always improving. So for the case of Raul Rosas Jr., 20 years old. If you're 20 years old fighting the UFC, what the fuck, dude? Like it's like literally, like that's just insane to me. So and to be winning fights, like guys, just unreal. But nonetheless, also in the main card, David Martinez picking up a knockout win.
The orthopedic surgeon, Josh. You might have to hit him up one of these days,
dude. Fucking asshole. Yeah, dude. What is up with the doctors? By the way, I mean, we got our boy David Martinez. We have Dr. Xi Ming out there knocking
Where
out.
the fuck is Dr. Xi Ming?
Where is Dr. Xi Ming? Yeah, like that is a. I can't help it too. I always look up Dr. Xi Ming. I could just look up Xi.
By the way, I mean, dude, what a finish, right? The knee in the middle of the combination too. I mean, wasn't that just stellar? Like, I loved it. I got.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, dude, that's why I watched this.
Yeah,
sport.
fuck yeah, dude, love it.
And also, by the way, first brother sister duo in the UFC. Melissa Martinez, David Martinez, first siblings to ever be in the UFC together.
I didn't even put that together.
Yep.
So, holy shit. That's awesome.
They got to have that, which is pretty dope. And she was in his corner.
How do you think about that? Yeah, we've had. I really thought it was going to be Alex Bahia and what was it, Eileen Bahia? I thought they were going to do it. I thought they were going to sign her, but I guess not.
Nope, it's first one ever.
That's sick.
We've had brothers, we've had sisters.
Now we have brother and sister,
but never brother and sister.
And we've also had husband and wife. I didn't think about that. We've had every combination.
We've had wife and wife too.
Yeah,
we're waiting on husband. And
husband. Oh my god, dude. It's 2025, brother. We're almost there, man. Everybody fucks funny to somebody. As far as the undercard, yeah, actually, one last fun fight to talk about. Kevin Boyas defeating Ronaldo Rodriguez.
This was a letdown, man.
But you know what though? He's so young, and even whenever he got knocked, dude, that knockdown, whenever he got
the recovery,
he ass down.
I was like, okay.
He gets fucking put down, ass down, rolls through, he gets a fucking goal. I'm like, dude, that's that Mexican spirit, motherfucker.
Also,
see white.
And then he also, I don't know, there might have been some issues he missed weight, so there might have been some issues with the weight cut there.
Yeah.
Seemed a little unfocused, maybe. I don't know. But granted, this isn't the end of the world. It's one fight. His other fights have been good.
I still believe in Lazy Boy, dude. I still do. I mean, he's so fun, and he has a skill, and he's so young. So one loss, it just is.
No, and you're not wrong. People were very hypercritical, though, of this one. They were let down. But like I said, it's one out of all the fights, dude, he's had so far. And this is one bad one. And Kevin Borjas has some good stuff to him, too. And I think it's also the hype. You know, he has expectations now. You know, I think that's the issue. You know,
exactly.
So, it is what it is. But I'm excited to see his next fight, no matter what. You know, you're going to be there for the next Lazy Boy fight. Don't lie to yourself.
Exactly, guys. A nonstop action. Speaking of nonstop action, this undercard, Adiba Gautier defeating Jose Daniel Benita. Dude, just killed him.
I mean, dude, 22 years old, out of Cameroon. Dude, if that doesn't show there's talent outside of the UFC, I don't know what will. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about the silent assassin, 22 years young.
By the way, he's just trying to do his thing. You listen to the interviews. I saw someone try to get an interview with him on Twitter. And he was like, bro, like, don't get nothing wrong. I'm just a chill dude. Like, I don't want to do no interviews. I'm just trying to fight. Like, I was like, that's a focus.
He's 20.
And he said he wants to fight again already. Right afterwards, he gave the interview. He's like, I want to fight again.
I respect any dude that goes in there and like wins. It's like, yeah, dude, I want to be in there next month.
Dude, 22-year-old 185er that looks like that. Like that shit is
Let's
insane.
Go, man. We need some juice at 185, especially 22 years old.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Hey, Izzy. I know that you're 35 and you're slowing down. What if I told you there's a way to make you feel 25, brother? No, but anyways. Mexico.
And granted, I hate to say it, man. Good. It was a good win, but dude, Jose Medina is not. I hate to say it.
JDM isn't good, bro. What do you mean?
No. Jose Medina is not the pinnacle of the UFC. I mean, when he lost his contender fight, he took a fight on short notice to help the UFC, and he lost.
It's one of those things like, how is he in the UFC? You know?
Oh, dude, it's the Igor Portera effect once again. You know, like
shit. You're not wrong. Yeah.
Like it's literally what it is. But hey, man, he got to make some. I'm sure he made some decent money from this stuff.
Be good for him, but he did make Zach Reese look like a champ. So I mean, it's tough. Also in the card, Mezcal Costa picking up a big win over Christian C-Rod. You know,
man, I was hoping for more out of this out of C-Rod. I was a little let down.
He's such a guy. Like I keep on like wanting to be like, all right, this is it. Here we go. Like we're gonna fucking kick off. This is the start of a run to the rankings or whatever.
No bullshit. I think it's all mental though with him. Just from seeing some interviews, see from him talk about his personal life. Yeah, I think it's all in his head.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, dude. Because he goes out there and he looks like a killer, and then like the next fight will come out so flat. Like, because like the way he'll fight, man. Like, I remember when he fought Raul, and he just went there beat the shit out of Raul, especially in rounds 2 and 3. Like,
didn't give him anything.
This time it's like, man, I don't know. He's an up and down guy, and he's young enough to where it's like, okay, you still got the potential, you still got the time.
I think it's just a matter of just locking it in. He just needs to lock it in and commit to it and being stuff like that.
You just gotta lock the fuck in,
you know. So because there's talent there. There's something there, but it just hasn't been broken through yet. He's not letting it shine through.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in my opinion. But I have hopes for him. I think he can do it at some point.
Yeah. Fair enough. I feel the same way. As far as the rest of the card, Loopy picking up a win, Lupe Godinez over Julia Pistori. Good stuff there. What was it, like the big slam? That's pretty fun.
Loopy Poopy.
Yeah, Loop. Yeah, dude, Jesus. Yeah, she had no problem fighting in Mexico City.
Yeah.
Just saying. Javier Garcia defeating Vince Pichel. That was a fun one, I thought.
When as expected.
Yeah. Jamal Emmers knocking out Gabriel Miranda. Jamal Emmers, a big fan of that kid.
And then the two guys who never thought they were going to fight on this card prior to being called.
Markel Medeiros defeating Austin Hubbard. Fine. Yeah. All right. Is it all right? Fine.
Yeah.
Shit. Any thoughts on this UFC Mexico City card before we go ahead and move on, man?
I hyped it up, man, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little let down. I thought it was gonna be more exciting. I thought it was gonna be even more electric. It ended up just being, I'd say okay.
Yeah.
It was able to get me by. If we had to give it a letterbox rating, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'd probably give it like a 2.5.
That's the way I feel.
And and I think a 2.5 is kind of sparing.
Yeah, we don't do the letterbox ratings for fight nights, but if I do it, same thing. Like 2.5, like
2.2.
Yeah. 2.2. Had to hit him with a 2.2, dude. Yeah. Nonetheless, we have UFC card going down this Saturday night from the fucking. Hey, can you just do the fucking bit? Can you just tell me where it's at?
Fighting out of the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. Your main event is Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy with the co-main event of Joe Anderson Brito and Pat Sabatini. Let's go, champ. Let's go.
Dude,
I will say this. All jokes aside, the top two matchups legitimately are good matchups. Yeah. The issue is, once again, it's in the Apex. And second of all, I don't know if those guys are necessarily co-main event worthy, but they're in that position. And I'm not going to complain about it because I think the fight is good.
Yeah. It's just like, we went from 20,000 screaming Mexicanos up in there in Mexico City last week. So now it's just like 100 people in a warehouse. And it's just like, God damn it. Because I agree with you. I actually love the top two. Love it, dude. Love those fights, especially that main event. But it's like, goddamn. But I'm not gonna do that this week. I do it enough. That's why I wanted you to get through it because normally I have a whole bitch session. Doesn't matter. We're past it. All right, we're up. We're up on this Wednesday morning in Kansas City recording. All right, main event: Josh Emmett, Lerone Murphy. Josh Emmett, even though he's now 40 years old and just turned 40 last month, the guy is still a wrecking machine. Hasn't been seen since he put Bryce Mitchell to sleep. And one of the most, and I'm not knowing this guy, scary knockouts I've ever seen. December 2023, UC 296. Prior to that, he lost 2 in a row against Yair in a bid for interim goal, as well as a loss to Ilya Taporia, where Ilya just mauled him. Lerone Murphy, man, 33 years old, the miracle, on the rise, undefeated, 15-0-1, had coming off a win over Dan Ige. Last May, he had the first UFC main event of his career, defeated Edson Barboza. Now looking to add another veteran to his kind of a his resume, if you would. According to the current line from our friends over at BetMGM, if you follow the link down below, you can get up to $1,500 and bonus bets paid back to you. The current line is, wow, Lerone Murphy, a minus 340, Josh Emmett plus 270. So kind of wider than I would think, but I kind of,
you get it.
Without giving my pick away already, yeah, I do get it. Give me your thoughts on this UFC main event on Saturday night.
I mean, it's a good matchup. I think it's a good matchup for Lerone Murphy. There's a lot of danger there, which I think will be good. He has finishes in the UFC, but he has had a lot of decisions recently too. So I think they're kind of putting the pressure on him by putting a very dangerous guy in front of him who can bomb him out of there at any point,
Yeah.
Like when you think about guys at 45, they hit powerful, you get the Jeremy Stevens and Josh Emmett, and you're, come to mind, like those guys have some of the most vicious finishes at 45 ever, you know? So I think it's no surprise that they're trying to put some danger in front of Lerone Murphy and see if they can get something out of him too.
Yep.
And also, I think they're also trying to kind of push this guy who's kind of like the old guard kind of down, and look, that's just the nature of the sport, right? They're giving the young guy the opportunity to move up, but they're also giving the opportunity to the old cat to stick around as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Lerone Murphy. I think for one, and I say this about a lot of fighters who are willing to go to decision, he's willing to fight the way he needs to get the win.
Yeah.
Number one. But granted, if I come back here next week, I won't be surprised if Josh Emmett did land a bomb against the cage and put Lerone Murphy out. Like that's very well a possibility.
He is that guy. I mean, and even at this age, like he has the power of God in that right hand.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So
I
absolutely get it.
And look, and Lerone Murphy's been tested against his fair bit of strikers in this division. I mean, Danny Ige, Edson Barboza. I mean, those are guys who are good in their have good technical stand up too. Had a variety of attacks, and granted, different from Josh Emmett, but
yeah.
I think he'll be prepared in this fight.
I agree. I'm gonna take Lerone Murphy, man. I just think he's the younger kid. He's on the rise. He's undefeated. It's not like he's not exactly. And this thing that I think makes him well suited to. I wouldn't talk to say he's a future champion to make a run to the top 10, top 5 really soon. He's faced a variety of challenges in his UFC run thus far. A lot of strikers, a couple decent grapplers. He's dealt with a lot of shit in his run. He came in.
Also, he's been probably slow rolled because he's from the UK.
Yeah, and also he's kind of older too. Like he's a 33-year-old prospect, which is kind of rare to see.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Came into the UFC, fought Zubaya Tugarov, who's like just a monster. Which I still wonder, like, whatever happened to him. You know, he got released in 2023. He was up and down.
He was an interesting guy,
but at the time, there was a point whenever he was like, God damn, this guy's good. You know, but came in, he fought to draw with him, beat Ricardo Ramos, a kind of up and down, kind of a well-rounded guy. Douglas Silva Andrade, a monster, beat him. Makwan Americani, kind of.
He had highs and lows in his career too.
Exactly.
Near the end, a lot more lows.
Yeah, exactly. Beat Gabriel Santos, defeat Joshua Culibao. Back-to-back strikers in his 2 fights. Edson Barboza, Dan Ige, very different strikers too. So I'm inclined to go with Lerone Murphy. I think he's faced a wide variety of challenges UFC run. He's a younger guy. I think he's explosive. But like you said, he's willing to make the fight almost boring. Not necessarily boring, but he's willing to fight his style if that means he's leaving with a W and not a. He'd rather take the W no matter what versus like, oh, I got to finish this guy.
I will say, I think for him in the ideal universe, he needs to get a really sick finish here.
Oh, absolutely.
He needs to get a big finish and kind of throw himself out there and get in, especially in a division that kind of needs that right now, you know?
Definitely. He's ranked number 10 right now. He's ranked number 10. Josh Emmett ranked number 8. If you look above that, at that point, you're all like, okay, all killers. I mean, Arnold Allen, Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez, Mozart Iloev, Diego Lopez, Max Holloway, Volkanovski. That's it. That's who's in front of him if he were to beat Josh Emmett. So I think he needs a big win here. And with a big win, it's like, dude, like with so much instability, like we were talking about at the start of the show with 145, like what happens if Volk win, what happens if Lopez wins, what's it Pitbull or Yair, you could easily finish Josh Emmett. You could slide yourself into that position of like, hey, man, I'm here if anything happens. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Being ready for a short notice fight, just getting ready for the call and the opportunity. Yeah, no, definitely. And being undefeated too, you know, that looks good, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like he makes that record 16-0. I mean, he's the only ranked undefeated fighter at 45, right? If you're not including Ilya Taporia in there.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So, I mean, that has some merit to it. That has some value. It looks good, you know, on screen.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Nonetheless, this co-main event also at 145 pounds, Pat Sabatini. Yeah, man, a long-term veteran of the game at this point, 34 years young, out of Philly, coming off a win over JSP, Jonathan Pierce, last October. Before that, you know, he lost to Diego Lopez. He beat Lucas Almeida. He got knocked out by Damon Jackson. Kind of up and down run over his last 4 fights. Taking on Joe Anderson Brito, who is just, you know, 5-2 in the UFC, coming off a loss of William Gomez. Prior to that, he put together a hell of a run, just mauled some dudes. 4 wins in a row, all by finish. Has established himself, I think, as one of the most entertaining young guys at 145 pounds. What do you make of this fight, man?
I mean, look, I got to give this guy some love. I mean, for me, Joe Anderson Brito was like, I remember that he was one of the guys who kind of shut me down for the Diego Lopez hype because he had fought Diego Lopez on the Contender. And he had, I mean, you go back and rewatch that fight. I mean, he beat him up. I mean, he gave him a good fight. Like he decisively won it. There was no questions answered. I was actually kind of let down because at that point, most of Diego's fight had been in ELYXR, you know, and you look at ELYXR, there is some lower quality fighters in there. There is some young talent in there. And I was kind of like, damn, I guess maybe he was just kind of like that regional level fighter. You know, maybe I guess he wasn't meant for that. And then Diego came in and you kind of see what he's done.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, Brito is good. Obviously, he's had his losses, but he's a guy who I think could definitely be ranked at some point. He has finishing ability. He has good. I mean, I remember he pretty much, I can't even remember what the fight was. I might have to click his Tapology here right now.
Yeah.
But he lit up, I think it was Jack. Yeah, it was a Dr. Stop. I think he lit up Jack Shore with kicks, sending Jack Shore into retirement. He has a slick jiu-jitsu game. Pat Sabatini's a dog. Don't get me wrong. I could see this fight going either way. I'm going to go Joe Anderson Brito just because he's already shown me that kind of level before.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at too. And I didn't mention it earlier. I probably should have. Current line, actually. Joe Anderson Brito, minus 240, plus 200 for Pat Sabatini. I'd say that sounds about right. Joe Anderson Brito is explosive. He's younger. And he's riding a hell of like a moment right now. I understand he's coming off the loss to William Gummies. Before to that, like I said, it was 4 wins in a row, all by finish.
It was a split too, and if I remember that Gummies fight, it wasn't like any crazy.
No,
if I don't remember though, I could be incorrect here.
I could be wrong too, but from what I remember, that fight, it was kind of just a back and forth close fight, and that happens. And I don't think he'll run Pat Sabatini out of there either. I think Pat's a durable guy. He's been around the block. But yeah, man, I think I got Jonas and Brito on Saturday night. I think it's gonna be a fun fight, though. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you an idea, William Gummies landed a total of 69 strikes in that fight. Brito landed 57. He went up 3 of 6 on takedowns. And had 2 sub attempts in there.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was one that like, maybe the judging was kind of like maybe maybe he could have stole some rounds depending how you want to. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember the fight. I would have to rewatch it. But
no, you're good. You're good, man. Yeah, nonetheless, still very excited for both those men to fight on Saturday night. Rest of the card is up and down. I'll put it like that. It's an up and down card. UFC Vegas 105. You got the best nickname of all time. Cortavius Roman is coming back, also known as.
I think that's just his name.
No. I know, but his nickname is "Are You Not Entertained?" Cortavius, are you not entertained? Romeus. So. Love it. Longest nickname of all time. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Taking on Lee Chang Ho on Saturday night. Went down to 135. The heavyweight run of Kennedy Njoku continues. He is 2-0 at heavyweight. With the Ryan Spann run, ended immediately. Kennedy, though, that motherfucker's putting it together.
By the way, Martin Bidet plus 230. Those are a little wide odds in my opinion.
I completely agree with you.
I think Kennedy's good. But I think Bidet has some class in there, man.
I feel like Martin Bidet is the first actual genuinely decent heavyweight he's fighting. He's
1,000%.
Like I like Chris Barnett, but Chris Barnett injured himself walking into the cage. Actually, I think it was during the introduction. Big to the point here, and then he knocked out Lucas Bresky, who's just not of any note at all. But I mean, Martin Bidet, I believe, is like 3-1 in the UFC, 4-1 in the UFC. I think his only loss is the future heavyweight champion Shamil Gaziev. So,
God, are you feeding into that meme now too?
I am. I'm feeding into the meme. Nonetheless, though, I like that fight. Should be fun to see the big boys swang and bang. This is a battle of the gatekeepers, man.
By the way, this feels like a fight that have already happened, but it hasn't happened.
Yeah, it's insane to me. This feels like whenever they booked like what fight? I think it was Joe Lozon versus Donald Cerrone. It's like this feels like these two should have fought before. Like just same era. Brad Tavares, Gerald Mearshart, same era. Both long-term gatekeepers. One's 37. They're both 37. Excuse me. They're both 37. It's literally same era. They have a lot in common. They're going to fight on Saturday. That one should be fun. They're both all action, so I'm down with it. And then the future, I said future UFC champion. How about future UFC champion Torres Finney coming back? I know you're
3 times on the contender.
I know you're a fan of some Torres Finney. I know you are. The Punisher 10-0.
I love me some Robert Valentine though.
Yeah. You know what though?
I do though.
We'll see.
He's a good fighter.
I mean, it's 10-0 against 10-4, both younger guys. I like it. Rob Zilla. God damn, some good nicknames on this card. I didn't realize his nickname was Rob Zilla. I love that, dude. Coming off a loss to Ryan Loder, but you know what? Ryan Loder's a decent guy, so we'll see. I like the fight. At flyweight, Ode Osborne taking on Luis Gurriel. I like that.
Wait, UFC newcomer, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And Ode Osborne riding a 3-fight losing streak, but he's facing dogs. I think he lost fought Lazy Boy, but they're kind of setting him up here. Luis Gurriel, excuse me, mispronouncing his name if I'm doing it. But 10-0, coming off a winner contender series. UC debut. We'll see what he does here.
Also, 31-year-old 125er as well.
Exactly. So how much can really, we'll see what happens. David Grant against Daniel Santos. I like that. I still like David Grant. Deanna Belbita, who feels like one of those people that like should have been cut by now, but like she'll lose 2 and win 1, lose 2, win 1, and it's like I guess she could stay in the UC that way. Taking on Dione Barbosa, who I don't want to say a similar case because she doesn't have the same as lengthy of a UC run, but still 2-2 and coming off a dominant loss to Miranda Mavericks. So we'll see how she does here. Reese McKee, Daniel Frunze at welterweight.
Skeletor.
Yeah, dude, I like that, man. I'm a big Reese McKee guy. I understand he's not that good, but like all bangers.
I know his return hasn't been the best either because he had such a good Cage Warriors run once he got. Or I don't know if he got cut or let go.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was a split. But look, split to Chidi Njoku and a decision loss to Anglusa.
There's no shame in that. There's no shame.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can get one back here.
He needs to get one. I think he needs to get one. If not, he's probably gonna get cut. Like this is a must-win fight.
How about Loma Lookingby coming back here against Estela Nunes? Loma Lookingby, still one of my favorite women's fighters.
I feel like it's been a while since we've seen her.
She hasn't fought in over a year, February 2024. Prior to that, she's been fighting once a year for the last 3 years.
And she's on a 3-fight win streak. I mean,
so let's
get a win here. I mean, hopefully she can build up a few wins. I don't know if she's been dealing with injuries or anything.
Yeah.
She's 29, still young. There's a lot of time. Strawweight.
Let's go with Loma. Come on, Loma. Let's go, man.
She's fighting 6-5 Estela Nunes, though.
She's really supposed to fight Ariana Carnelossi.
Granted, though, this will be a nice kind of get back, and if she wants to fight another time this year, hopefully it's a quick turnaround. I think it's healthy.
Yeah, I agree. So let's get it going, man. I still think she's a lot of potential. One of the just very entertaining on the feet.
But man, Victor Henry on here, like you said, good. Vanessa Demons versus Talita ELYXR. I might have mispronounced that.
That works for me. 2
grapplers, though. I think that'll be fun between those 2 guys. That'll be an intense matchup.
Yeah, that will be. I like that fight. Vanessa Diamopoulos is still a lot of fun.
The exotic dancer.
I know that became like her gimmick, but like she's had some.
She's kind of let it go too. Like
she's let it go.
She never, to her credit, that was never like a big part of her in reality. It just so happened that she did do this at one point in her life.
Well, and it helped that like she had such a banger moment. Like she had people forget, man, that fight against Silvana Gomez Juarez, who
she knew how to market herself in a good way. I think.
Yeah, she gets it, man. She gets it, and she's still decent, man. She's won, 2 of her last 3. We'll see what she can do.
And she has a personality. She's fun. She's good. She's a good interview.
Yeah, exactly. Should be fun to have on the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Nonetheless, man.
Sure, we can get her on.
Yeah. Anything else we want to go and talk about before we go and bounce out of here, my man?
No, I mean, I think
move on to the news.
You know what's funny? I did not expect us to have that much fun talking about that card. If I'm being completely honest, I'm actually like impressed. Like, I was like, that like once we were closing off and ending it right now, I was kind of like, okay. I'm kind of amped up now for the card.
Yeah, man, I'm fired up, man.
Raw card with emotion.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I said bounce out of here. We're gonna bounce into some news, is what I meant to say, folks. But because we do have a fair bit of news and a bunch of fight announcements actually. So we're gonna hit off with the non-UFC one first. These fights officially announced. We actually knew a lot of these, but just to kind of have these official, and we got more details about the broadcast and
I mean, they dropped some bombs on us too. By the way, fuck you, Dana, for April Fool's doing it too.
Dana,
I thought you were gonna fuck me,
Dana. You
figuratively
speaking, not literally, but nonetheless, we'll hit off with these. These did not get announced on April 1st. These got announced a few days before. The Global Fight League, which we've been
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean we've been trying to see like, all right, what's going on? Let's is this real? Is this not real? And I still think there's a very good possibility it just ends up being like Affliction, where you're going to get 1 to 2 shows, because the bankroll on this has to be huge. Nonetheless, GFL 1 is now set May 24th, Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles. In case you're curious, the capacity of this venue is about 6,500, so it's a smaller venue. Kind of a more intimate one.
When you look at it like this, you're like, man, this is about to be awesome. But with context, you're like, man,
it's the greatest card in history if the year is 2017. It's that way. So we'll hit off main event GFL 1, Uriah Faber, Renan Barao trilogy, co-main event Anthony Pettis, Benson Henderson trilogy.
It's gonna be hyped up, but I know I shouldn't be, because it's not gonna be the quality it can be.
No, don't worry though, because we also have Holly Holm, Julia Budd at bantamweight. Which how the fuck are you gonna try and make?
Holy shit, it is
Julia
2016.
Dude. She's gonna try and make. She's gonna die trying to make.
Oh, no. They also they mentioned how they would agree to fight. It's kind of like unboxing, like, oh, we're gonna fight at this weight class, but let's fight at 140 instead.
Oh, okay. You know what?
They're gonna do that, so it might be 140, not 135.
According to the wiki, it says 135, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that. I found that out recently through JRE.
Fair enough. Chad Money Mendez against Mike Linares, who's 19-3 out of Brazil. Kind of he's one of their actual prospects. I know the guy used to fight I think he had 1 or 2 fights in Ryzen, but still, interesting. Derek Brunson, Omari Akhmedov feels like a fight that should have happened before.
By the way, that feels like a good fight though. I feel like that fight makes sense. Like if you made that in the UFC now, it would make sense.
Yeah, and they're both still good at this late stage too. Like both guys. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, man. Also on this card, Sage Northcutt, Lucas Martins, and Sage Northcutt signed to the PFL, and then it's just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna go to the GFL, which is
maybe more money. He must have been offered more.
Yeah,
money.
but like he's mismanaged his career so bad, man. I mean, but also I don't know.
There's still time though.
Yeah,
there's still time with him.
He's running out though. He's running out real quick.
He's 29 now. You're not wrong, but I will say, like, let's say the GFL does last like a year, like an Affliction. Like he could just go to the PFL and everything would be cool.
That's true. Yeah. Anyways,
or the UFC, if they still want to reignite that relationship.
Yeah, you're not wrong. We also got Marlon Moraes, Ray Borg. Aspen lad, Alejandro Lara. I'm a big.
I guess being a cop in Florida wasn't enough.
Apparently not. I love me some Alejandro Lara though, so she's still a lot of fun. She's going to be fighting on this card. Robelo Suspenia, Todd Duffy. That's just that's good. That's 30 seconds of war.
Dude, does that not sound like a pride fight,
dude?
Guys, we got this Olympian Taekwondo guy who's gonna be fighting this huge guy from America. You know, like
and Todd Duffy, who's
just a wrecking ball.
Todd Duffy had not won a fight since 2014.
Jesus.
Now, granted, he's only fought 4 times since 2014, but holy shit, man. Nonetheless, Kat Zingano, ELYXR Connors, Neiman Gracie. Love to see Neiman Gracie back against Danny Roberts. That's actually a really good fight, man. Hot Chocolate out of the UK. I still like that guy. His war with Mike Perry back in the day. Jessica Benet coming back here. Charles Rosa going to be fighting Gleason Tebow, Alex Oliveira. Fun fights. GFL 2, though, is the one that I feel like more people have been talking about.
By the way, did you even say this is going to be a week? Like, this is going to be a 2-day event. Like, this is a
back-to-back days. May 24th, May
It's
25th.
an opening weekend, not an opening, like,
fights start at, like, 4:30, too. So, interesting, man. Very interesting stuff.
By the way, Josh, if we watch, and let's say the drug testing is
dude,
non-existent.
If they have no drug testing, I'll be on here promoting every single week.
If the drug testing is like a sniff test, you know what I mean? Like, they smell you, and then they're like, okay, you're good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you see OSP come out and he's just jacked as shit. Are you gonna be okay with it?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll be all right with that, dude. Yeah, let's go, dude. OSP comes out looking like he's fucking.
He looks like Overeem, dude.
Yeah, I was literally about to say, dude. He's looking like Ubereem.
He's looking like the fucking Demolition.
He looks like 2 of them, you know, like.
Yeah,
God,
like
dude, Alistair Overeem is just the coolest motherfucker, dude. Can we just talk about that for the Demolition Man? And he was just the most obvious steroided up man you've ever seen in your life. He looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he fought like he was Anderson Silva. I mean, can we talk about that? The guy Alistair Overeem was so fucking cool, dude. Like, really, I'm biased because like I always talk about it. The first fight, which makes so much sense for my MMA fandom. Overeem Brock, and they both look like comic book characters, because this is,
dude, that weigh-in is the craziest weigh-in ever,
and that's peak TRT era 2011. No wonder I'm like a huge fan of free show fights, dude. Like, just look at
who can blame you though,
dude. Look at this shit, man. Like,
dude, also adding the context, these 2 guys might have been some of the most impressive athletes to ever compete in the sport, because you gotta take into account Brock, WWE, football, now UFC, Overeem, kickboxing, then MMA, then UFC champion, you know what I mean? Or Pride, or you competed in Pride, then competed in the UFC.
Yeah, fought in the UFC. Like, so it started off in Pride, did some kickboxing stuff, went to UFC, went to Strikeforce, fucking left them, went and had another fight, beat Brawler one more time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when you add the context to it, like, dude, like the athletes you had in there were insane. Take roids out of it or whatever, like, still fucking impressive.
Dude, I know. And then, like, he retired, and like he's only like 43. He could be a perfect guy for this GFL thing. But
also, this guy's like a vegan now.
Yeah, he just lost like 50 pounds. He's like, oh, you know, I just don't really feel like fighting.
Or I think he just really cleaned his diet, like no sugar, no carbs.
Exactly. He looks like a completely different human being. And it's like, you know what? Good for you, Overeem, honestly.
Yeah.
And then somebody asked him about fighting. He's like, oh, you know, I just don't really feel like fighting anymore. You know,
who can blame him though, right?
Yeah, he's like, he's made his money. He's just chilling. Good for you, Overeem. But we had to go off on the tangent. It's like every once in a while, it's like, God, there's some guys we just don't talk about anymore. It's like, God, dude. The Demolition Man, dude. Like, that's badass. Anyways, GFL 2, headlined May 25th, Shrine Auditorium. We just said it. Tony Ferguson, Dylan Dennis, OSP Gustafson, Uriah Hall, Douglas Lima, Paige Van Zandt, Randy Field. Don't know who the fuck Randy Field. I think she's a former Invicta gal, actually. But
I think she's like a Canadian prospect.
Yeah. Akbar Nurmagomedov on here. Elimulay McFarlane, who I thought was retired against Vivian Pereira. Alan Belcher, Stuart Austin. Thiago Santos, Devin Clark.
What the fuck? Alan Belcher is back at MMA.
Dude, the guy is just a dog. Randy Field. She was a Bellator gal. Excuse me. I said Invicta. That's my bad. Nonetheless, yeah, man, just a lot of big names on this one. Thiago Santos, Devin Clark, Lorenzo Larkin, Carlos Petrezza. I was really hoping Lorenzo Larkin was gonna find a way to get to UC, but
I did too.
It's not gonna work out. God damn, he's on such a good run right now, though. But anyways, Jimmy Rivera on here. Jessica Aguilar coming back. Phil Hawes, Grant Neal. That's a fun one.
By the way, Natasha, I didn't mention her. That's her opponent. She's an Olympian. I can't.
Out of the USSR.
Yeah, but I can't remember. I think judo. I think she's a judo gal. Which, like, right there, I thought the UFC was inside her. She was.
Oh, I know this chick. She fought Fatima Klein like a year or two ago.
Yeah, she had a little run in the LFA, man. I thought that maybe the UFC would consider. She's older, but I thought maybe, fuck it, so be it.
That's shocking they didn't sign her. Yeah, she's 7-1. She lost that one fight to Fatima Klein, but since then she's had like, that's a lot of activity. What is that? 4 fights and not 4 fights. Oh my God, she's averaging like 4 fights a year for the last 2 years. Like, she's
who?
Our girl that you just mentioned, it's Natalia. She fought, let me look, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Natasha.
5 times, 5 times in 2023, twice in 2024.
Well, I think she started MMA when she was like 33. I mean, she realized there wasn't a lot of time.
She's staying active.
She had the right approach. That's why I was surprised whenever she won. I think she won the LFA title.
Yeah.
The UFC didn't sign her like not too long after. They might have offered her a contender contract. And she might have been like, yeah, fuck that.
That's facing Jessica Aguilar, and I love me some Jessica Aguilar. She's definitely too old to be doing this shit.
She's a vet. I mean, I gotta give her credit for wanting to go back in there.
I remember if she fought Weili, and Weili just beat the fucking piss out of her.
It'd be like that, man.
Oh, man. Damn. Anyways, yeah, as far as the rest of the card, Kai Kamaka, Mike Grundy should be fun. Jung Da-woo and Ronnie Marks, and then Ding Mao taking on Josephine Knudsen. So that's it. Further initial offerings, this is the problem. I've always said, if they have the money, I actually think they have a decent ability to thrive and survive because people want alternatives.
Also, if the testing is non-existent, and I hate this, then this might offend some people because some people feel different about this shit. Dude, these guys are older. If they want to take that boost and you guys are like, hey, we're not going to test and everybody knows.
Yeah.
Let it be.
Exactly.
But everybody needs to know, as long as, we don't got no pride shit where it's like, maybe that guy is taking shit or maybe that guy isn't taking shit. And we're not saying you should or shouldn't. We're also not trying to promote anything like that or say you need it, but.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I get it.
Because some people do abuse these substances, like actually abuse.
But what if if I ran a league, I'd be like, you can do steroids, but we will only allow it to a point. If you come in like 12 times over the legal limit of TRT, that's what guys were doing back in the day, dude. If you come in like 8 times over, I'm like, all right. But if it's 12, sorry, man, you can't fight. Yeah, shit. They tested me. They said it came back 12 times higher than the normal amount. I said, you caught me on a bad day.
And if you guys coming in with the testosterone of a teenage girl,
I mean, you're gonna be thrown out too. Because now I know you're fucking with me, and I allow drugs, but only to a point. Don't try to go around behind my back. Yeah, dude. Once I start making that good money, that's where we're starting, dude. Yeah. Nonetheless, we have a few other topics to hit. Speaking of steroids, filmmaking. Zack Snyder is directed some crazy movies over the years. I don't even need to go through all of them, but I mean, dude did 300, obviously.
Watchmen.
The Watchmen. He did. Oh man, there was like his best shit was like arguably. Dawn of the Dead. The Dawn of the Dead remake was incredible. I actually didn't hate Rebel Moon Part 2. I'm just gonna say it. Hot take out there. Justice League, his version 2021.
The Snyder Cut.
The Snyder Cut was genuinely fucking great. So, but he's also had a couple of just fucking terrible movies in there too. So it's kind of an up and down bag. Point being, he has now signed a deal to direct and write Brawler. The movie is going to be backed by the UFC. It's going to have Turki Al-Sheikh is apparently His Excellency gonna be helping out. His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh gonna be helping out. Gonna help, backing the film. This is like the weirdest piece of news that just came out of nowhere earlier this week. What do you think about it whenever it dropped, man?
I mean, it threw me off. I didn't necessarily expect it. I mean, I think he's a good director. I think the way he does storytelling is very unique at times, and he's willing to commit to doing things the right way. He really wants to capture things how they're supposed to be. I remember that was a reason why a lot of people really loved the Watchmen movie, because it was quite literally just like the comics. You know what I mean? Yeah. He really wanted to do these things. And same with 300, because 300 even had its own comic. Like, he even wanted to capture that to its essence, and that's why 300 looks the way it does, and that's why Watchmen looks the way it does. So I think anytime anybody does these sport movies, and unfortunately I think there's been a lot of bad fighting movies, especially MMA movies, that haven't been that good. Hopefully he can do it right. And look, it's a sports movie. It's about MMA. It'll probably inevitably to an extent be cheesy, but who knows? Maybe we can get something really sick out of this, and it could get people interested in the sport, man.
That's all you want, right? That's all you want for the sport, is just for it to grow. And look, this is my opinion, and I said this on Twitter. You got to go full Roadhouse with this shit, all right? You got to go. Don't even bother with having an actual story. I know the actual story is like, it's some dude who's like a street fighter, and he fights his way to the UFC. I don't care. Okay?
I think it's a guy from, I don't know if I remember SoCal, but somewhere in the California area, and just has come up.
Yeah, exactly. I get it. Don't bother with having a story. I'm sorry. Just go crazy shit 24/7. I don't have Dana White in the background cussing out a journalist. Like, you'll get a notification on your phone. Like, the main character is just like, he pulls out his phone, something. Oh, John Jones arrested again. Just like an ESPN notification. Go full balls to the wall.
I just hope they capture it well. They capture the grind. They get actual fighters in there. Yeah. They reference stuff from actually reference Pride, reference WEC, reference Strikeforce, reference the current UFC. I just hope they do things like that, and they probably won't. I don't know. Hopefully they do. I have faith.
I got faith in Zack Snyder. I actually do. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm a Snyder fan. I understand he's a very divisive director, but like, he's very divisive, and he's had some terrible. Sucker Punch was just fucking terrible. Have you ever seen Sucker Punch?
I unironically kind of enjoy it.
You like Sucker Punch?
To an extent.
You know what? I'll say this.
To an extent.
The extended cut is better than the original, but it's not a great movie.
To an extent.
To an extent, I get that. Army of the Dead. Have you seen Army of the Dead?
No.
That was ass. That was an actually ass movie. So, and I actually was excited for that one. Had Dave Bautista, his first zombie movie in 20 years. Just kind of blew. Point being, I am a believer in Snyder. If you give him like the money and you're just like, bro, just go off and do whatever you want, he'll probably make.
Also, I think his tonality. You look at the way his films are. I think I like that tone for this kind of movie that he could be making.
Yeah, exactly.
If I have this image in my head of how it's gonna go.
Yeah, so I'm optimistic.
Especially after the reports that came out of the Smashing Machine. I just need to say that on air.
That's actually what I was about to cut into next, because it is both a good and bad time to be an MMA fan who's watching movies. We had Roadhouse come out last year. Obviously not a UFC movie.
We had that MMA TV show that came out that had John in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I'm not going to watch.
Which I heard was pretty bad. But yeah, man. I mean,
we had Bruised with
Halle Berry, which I still never watched.
And Chev,
Dude, they were literally filming that shit at Memorial Hall. And I was still
I can't bring myself to it because I know so much about it now.
Yeah, exactly. And I've heard it's bad too. And it's like,
there's probably good things. There's probably good elements. There's good story moments, but collectively, it just wasn't it. I think.
I remember going to the Invicta event whenever Halle Berry was there, and they were like, "Yeah, dude, come over." The media guy came over to me, like their little head of PR. He's like, "Don't even bother talking to her." And it's like, I wasn't planning on it, but now I'm like, hey, shit, what's up? I love Monsters Ball. You know, like
I love Catwoman.
Catwoman. You know what? You got a bad rap for that. You know, but for real, Halle Berry was like, I remember whenever like she like won all the Golden Raspberry Awards for like worst movie of that year, worst actress, and she went up there and gave a whole speech and everything. She's like, yeah, I had a lot of fun making it, just like own that shit like a champ. So yeah, to bring it back in though, Zack Snyder Brawler, excited for it. We'll see what happens. Smashing Machine though, the first test previews came out. We've talked a lot about the development of that movie on this show because we're both huge like A24 fans who are also like UC guys. Mixed reviews. I put it like that.
And granted, there could be editing issues. You know, they have a lot of
movie's
shots.
Not done yet.
Yeah, the movie's not done yet. They could go and do reshoots. Who knows? Maybe they can do something there still.
And let's keep in mind here, it's been 6 years since it came out. But the Uncut Gems at the time when it first came out, it was divisive too. It had like a big differential between like the audience reaction and the critic reaction. Even some of the critics were like, it's kind of just oddly paced, yada, yada, yada. So,
yeah. But
in Benny Safdie, we trust. In Benny motherfucking Safdie, we trust. I'm still a believer in the guy. I still think the casting and The Rock is kind of his passion project. Let's see what happens, man.
Boss is in it. We got Bader in it. We got
Usyk
in it as Igor Verbechkin, one of my favorite fighters.
I literally saw yesterday Ryan Bader, a post from him. It was him and Usyk on the set, and they're like standing in the Pride ring, and it's like, dude, like let's fucking go, dude.
Maybe there's some hope. Maybe they'll be.
I have hope.
No matter what, I think that'll capture certain good moments. I think I have that going.
Here's the thing too: is like one of the reasons why I like Uncut Gems so much is because like I'm a huge KG fan, and he had such a big role in that movie, and like that was like I remember correctly, it was like set near like the end of the Celtics run and everything. Like I remember being there for that, so I'm like, oh shit, this is awesome. I'm a UFC fan. Maybe they're test screeners. Maybe they're not Pride fans. They don't get that. So the little things that you and I are going to pick up on, other people probably won't. So
and maybe there's some elements like that. Maybe there's just things people don't understand. People are like, wait, this doesn't look like MMA today, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it isn't.
It's not. Like the sport has changed so much. And what people think of MMA, like Pride really was just a lawless wasteland. So, I mean, I'm still a believer in it. It's set for fall release. Let's see it. That's all. That's my hope. I have a lot of belief, man. I really don't think Benny Safdie would lead us.
No way he dropped the ball, right?
I mean, he made, dude, Uncut Gems is a banger. Good Time was a banger. Even like Daddy Longlegs that I saw a while ago, like that was a good movie too. Like the guy, they know what they're fucking doing, man. So let's go. Nonetheless, man. And by the way, the one thing that kind of threw me off, I was looking up the casting and like Cyborg Abreu is Fabio Gurgel. They're only like 5 years apart in age. It's just like, who are you? Like some of these make sense. Like Boss Rutan as himself, the motherfucker hasn't aged. So
he looks literally the same.
Yeah, exactly. But like Igor and Usyk, there's like 20 years apart of them. I could get that. Like even Mark Kerr is only how much older? He is.
Is he gonna appear in the movie?
4 years older. He'll probably have a cameo. It's funny. Ryan Bader let it slip on the MMA Hour that Mark Coleman has a cameo in it. So there you go.
And dude, you could kind of you could de-age that.
Exactly. So
Mark, look, he looks old, but he's not. Dude, come on.
But it's Ryan Bader who's playing Mark Coleman. So Mark Coleman just has Ryan Bader said yeah, we invited him out for 2 days on set.
Shout out Bader for deciding to take that on. I'm sure that must have been a lot of pressure.
Oh my God, yeah, dude, because he's one of the main. He's like Mark Coleman and Mark Kerr were really close. I'm sure he'll have a decent role in the movie. You know, so nonetheless, man, I'm psyched for that movie.
I hope Bader has a good showing because dude, Bader's at the end of his. I mean, he's pretty much done at the end of his combat.
He said he's got one more fight in him, and he said probably that Ryzen heavyweight Grand Prix. And it's like, dude, what a dude. Ryan Bader is low key over the last 5 years. He'll never get the credit. Just like a cool dude. I remember when he's a few Bellator fights ago, he changed his nickname to Master. Ryan Master Bader, you know,
and once again, we've had this conversation too. It's kind of like, what if he did fight at heavyweight? Maybe heavyweight. That was the better weight class for him. He
had a hell of a run, though, man. He really did. And I don't think he'll ever get the credit, but he had a good run, all things considered.
Yeah.
Dime. Nonetheless, more fighting announcements because we have UFC 316 and UFC KC both getting fight announcements this week. Oh, my God. Got that fucking thing in my throat, you know?
It's all good. You gotta
cough it out, boys, on the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Just know you guys are into that. UFC 316. I should probably do KC because that's coming first. UFC Kansas City, which we're gonna presumably be attending. I say presumably because at this point
we'll be at it. We'll be at it
in some capacity.
Be there. No, we're gonna be there.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean as far as where we're at in some capacity.
Oh, that's. I mean, guys,
yeah.
We might have to make a whole feature video on every single experience at UFC, every UFC Kansas event because. Yeah. They've all been drastically different. And not necessarily negative, but just drastically different for a number of reasons.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. And this one coming up was originally, now just 3 weeks away, actually. Originally supposed to be headlined by Jamal Hill, Khalil Roundtree, which just, that's just violence personified, man. Sadly, no longer happening. Jamal Hill allegedly suffering an injury. As a result, that fight has been scrapped.
They said they're probably going to reschedule it.
Correct.
If not, Jamal Hill will get a different opponent from what I saw.
Yeah, Roundtree said that the original, the plan was for him to go ahead and stay on the card, but they couldn't find somebody, so they're just like, yeah, we'll rebook it. Nonetheless, Ian Machado Gary stepping up on short notice again. Dude.
Why do you think I have him top 3 in my welterweight rankings, man?
Fucking dog, the future. Taking on the Nightmare. Carlos Prates.
2 guys who've been taking short notice fights.
Yeah, dude, Carlos Prates is looking for his 5th fight in a calendar year. If you go from a span of actually not a calendar year, it'd be technically of 14 months, but 5 fights in 14 months for Carlos Prates if this fight goes through. Man, what a banger. Give me your thoughts on this one. Obviously, we're not going to do a whole preview because it's right up next, but what do you think, man?
Look, I was kind of sad, but at the same time kind of happy for mixed reasons that I'm not going to say openly on this show. But look, we went from having potentially what was going to be a crazy war thriller here in our hometown to having a massive high stakes 170 bout. Now, I can't be upset. I got to give credit to the UFC for being willing to give us this main event because they could have saved this for a pay-per-view. Carlos Prates needed an opponent. And the fact that they even did that, because they were looking for an opponent, so they didn't want to remove him from the card. That or they wanted to move him down, if anything. Yeah. Which means this Ian Gary fight was probably maybe already in the works, or they had talked to him as potentially an option. The fact that Ian Gary had no preparation, no fight schedule, and he's willing to come in on this kind of short notice means a lot. And especially because Prates was getting ready for his fight, he just didn't have an opponent anymore.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, man. It is such a good matchup. And as much as I loved the violence factor of Hill Roundtree, this is probably the better technical matchup, if I'm being honest. You know?
Well, like I said, stakes. The stakes is on the line for these guys is massive. If Prates wins this, he gets slingshotted high up in the division and could get slingshotted to a title shot within maybe a fight.
Dude, I could see the winner of this getting a title shot either way because of how weird 170 is in the moment. You know what I mean? You have obviously Bilal taking on JDM next month. And then it's okay, you have Sean waiting in the wings, but you also have Shavkat, who's dealing with an injury. We don't know what's up
All
there.
I'm saying is, if
we don't know how fast Sean
guys,
will be able to go, there's a lot of stuff. He just had a kid. There's so many factors at the top of 170 to where it's dude, if you're Ian Machado Gary, you go out there and knock Carlos Prates dead, shit, you could fight for the belt next maybe if certain things go a certain way.
All I'm saying is, whoever wins this fight, post-fight interview, you got to go crazy.
Oh yeah, dude,
you got to be demanding what you want, especially if you're Prates. And I think even Gary, you got to be like, hey, I just did this shit. I did my time. 5 fights in the calendar year, man. Give me that fucking title shot. I'll see you guys in whatever month, you know?
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Especially if it's a finish. If Bronson finishes Gary, dude,
sky is the limit for both of these guys, you know?
You got to pump that guy like it's crazy.
Dude, I mean, he's out there fucking he's the modern day Ricardo Mayorga.
Sakuraba.
Yeah, but Sakuraba more.
Dude, I heard the smoking is even like it's been talked about. It's ridiculous amounts.
I get it though, man. I get it.
I've heard upwards of 10 to 15 cigarettes a day.
What a day? What do you mean? I thought we were all just running through fucking.
Josh is like, what kind of pussy numbers are that?
I was gonna say, I thought we were all running through packs of Camels every single day, man. Shit, just give me a pack of Red Marlboros and I'll be set for 2 minutes.
I think he's even said like on rough days he's gone through 2 packs, which is crazy.
Dude, smokers are crazy, dude. I'll never get it. I mean, I like.
It's addiction.
It's
addiction.
It's literally addiction.
That's all it is.
But I'll say this: you give me a nice Cuban cigar. On like a nice, I'll have a nice time.
Have you had a cigar?
I have.
I haven't yet.
Yeah,
well, it's really? Well, the thing is with cigars, you don't actually inhale; you just puff.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different vibe.
It is, but it's nice.
It's one of the things that I've wanted to do that I haven't done. Just for wanting to do it, wanting to try.
Because you feel cool doing it.
Not even just that, but understanding what it does and how you're supposed to do it. And there's a lot of things in this world. There's an art to it. You know what I mean? Like cigars have been around a very long time. Yeah. There's different kinds of cigars. You have to cut them a certain way. You gotta even light them up. Although like there's a lot to it. You know
exactly. Nonetheless, though, man. Yeah, just a few.
Maybe we should do. You know what I should do? Maybe we should get us some cigars for UFC Kansas City, and when we're outside, I'll cut one and we'll puff them outside the T-Mobile.
You know what's so funny? I was about to say, like, what if we just did like a preview or a recap episode, just like with cigars? Just
I'd be down, dude. Post by right afterwards.
I'm down. Nonetheless, before we talk this off, we'll talk about the cigar idea off air. Nonetheless, we actually have a lot of ideas for the pod. Anyways, give a quick preview to wrap up. PFL 1 going down Thursday. So actually, if you're seeing this on the upload day, it'll be later tonight. Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. They have those little the little venue they have. Which I think wasn't that where Nickelodeon used to film back in the day? You don't know? Okay, never mind. Well, regardless, PFL 1. I love this card. You and I were talking about this. This is like literally better than the UFC card, if we're being completely honest.
For this weekend.
Yeah, for this weekend, obviously. Main event, Jason Jackson taking on Andre Koreshkov. Holy shit. I mean, those guys are going to try and kill each other. Jesus Pinedo, Adam Boric.
You know what pisses me off? I know if I try to tell someone, dude, Koreshkov is such a badass, and they're like a diehard UFC fan, they would shut me down so hard.
I know, and it sucks because Andre Koreshkov has been one of the greatest fighters on the planet at 170 pounds for a decade now. I remember when he fought Benson Henderson. Benson was like, he was in his 170 run.
Dude, it was Askren's more dangerous fight, and he blew out Koreshkov.
Yeah, exactly. But I remember, dude, I'll never forget that because that was like the biggest. That was my levels moment. Because I've been watching for probably 5 years now. Benson Henderson, he won 3 in a row in the UFC welterweight. He left, and he got this big title shot. It was this huge thing. He fought in a Bellator card. Andre Koreshkov, 50-43.
I think my moment that I realized, and it's not like I always knew, but when I really knew was with AJ and Pitbull. Like that whole rivalry, I was like, oh, this is how big this sport can be outside of the UFC. This is how good fighters can be outside of the UFC. Like there is class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talent outside the UFC, which just never gets the credit, which is one of the reasons why I'm trying to highlight this card, because like the PFL has fucked up a lot lately, but this is an excellent card. It just is what it is.
The product is just managed badly. That doesn't mean the fighters are bad.
No, not at all. I mean, and you have, dude, like I said, I said the main event, Jason Jackson, Artur Koreshkov, both UFC caliber. I think they both be in the rankings. Jesus Pinedo, Adam Boric. Jesus Pinedo, a little bit, I think, less proven, but still a PFL former finalist, I believe. He fought in the finals, I think, 2023.
Well, not even just that, but he has wins over former and I think maybe even current UFC fighter. I could be.
Yeah. So he's 3-1. He's 3-1 in the PFL. He signed. Jesus Christ, I didn't even remember he had a 2-fight UFC stint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even remember. He fought Devin Powell and John McDessie. That was it. And he got cut after losing to John McDessie. Nonetheless, man, he lost to Gabriel Braga in his first fight, but then he rattled off wins. Brandon Moreno, Bubba Jenkins, Gabriel Braga, avenged the loss. Now he's coming back here. He didn't fight at all last year. He's actually supposed to fight Patricio Pitbull. That was one of the fights that got scrapped. So coming back here, it's Adam Boric, who's just, during his time in Bellator, was kind of like, I felt like the dark horse of 145 pounds, man.
Also, he was so young.
Yeah, I mean, I remember he came in and He lit up Aaron Pico, man. He lit up Pat Curran. He lost to Darren Caldwell, but he had some other big wins. Excited to see him back here. It's only his second PFL fight. We'll see what he does.
Also, one of the most important fighters in MMA to come out of Hungary. Like,
yeah.
I remember when he had his title fight, like, it was a big deal in Hungary.
Yeah.
When he fought, it was Pitbull, right?
No, he fought, oh my God, not Darren Caldwell.
It was Pitbull.
Oh, it was Pitbull. Oh, you're right. I'm thinking of Jesus Pineda was supposed to fight Pitbull. Got
no, my bad. But yeah, he fought for the title, and I remember like it was a big deal in Hungary. He was on the news. He was doing interviews. Like that was a big thing that happened. Unfortunately, it didn't get highlighted a lot, but in his country, like, dude, it meant a lot.
Yeah, man. So I'm a huge fan of the kid. Excited to see him back here. And even you just go down, it's more than that, man. You go down another one. Magomed Umalatov, Logan Storley, those guys can wrestle their asses off. And maybe that won't be the most appealing fight to everybody, but I really like seeing guys who, and Logan Storley is not a guy. Some guys are like, oh, I'm a wrestler, but if I meet another wrestler, I'm going to strike. No, those guys are going to fucking go balls to the wall.
And I got to hype it up again, dude. Guys, Logan Storley in his home state won 6 state championships in wrestling. Guys, there's only 4 years in high school. When this kid was in middle school, he was going to state championship wrestling matches at the high school level and beating high schoolers. Now, granted, I'm sure since he was smaller, I'm sure the weight classes, maybe there wasn't a massive amount of competition. But regardless, the fact that he, at such a young age, was willing to put on that pressure, win those state titles, and willing to compete with maybe even bigger guys than him, and do it all the way up to his senior year of high school, is pretty damn impressive.
He's such a dog, man. And look, I always gotta say, I thought MVP beat him in that interim title fight, but you know what? It doesn't matter, man. He's such a good guy, and going for his third PFL appearance now. We'll see what he does. But again, you move down. Jeremy Kennedy, UC vet, Bellator veteran, long-term contender. Been competitive everywhere. Taking on Movlid Khabib. Apologies for mispronouncing the name. 21-0-1. Nickname is The Killer, which to have that name, you really got to live up to it. And he has. I mean, dude is undefeated. He actually just beat James Gallagher like in December in a grappling match. But he's good everywhere, dude. Undefeated.
He's a hard fighter, dude. I mean, that guy's a ranked fighter in the UFC. Whether you like it or not, he
might be like top 10 of the UFC. Like he's dominated everybody. So excited to see him back. And then you look down the card after that, I'll say it kind of falls off. But even then, you have like Magomed Brakhimov come back against Fat James.
It's a mix of like built up PFL talent and built up Bellator talent.
Exactly. Nathan Kelly come back to Taekwon Kim. I like that. Gabriel Brog, who I just mentioned against Frederic Dubras. That's a fun fight. So yeah, man, just all around a fun card. And we shit on the PFL a lot, but we got to be fair and call a spade a spade. Whenever they'll do good things, we're going to say they're doing good things. And that is an excellent, excellent fight card on Thursday night. So, what do you, anything else you want to talk about for that card or anything else in general before we go ahead and head out, man? No, man, that's it. I'm just happy that we're just in the groove, man. Like we got a lot of events coming up. We got a lot of good fights. We talked about it. This was going to be like the one kind of card that would slow us down, you know, but then after that we'll pick up a little bit again. So we'll be in good hands. Yeah. Big news coming, y'all. You guys will see. You guys will see, man. Very big news. It is hard for me. I want to explode and just tell people the big news, but yeah, not only for the pod, but for my own professional stuff. So yeah, man. I hope you guys enjoyed though. I am at Josh Soundoff on Twitter. Follow that Twitter account. I'll be very more active there. At Courtside Sound for all things related to the channel, and at Angel Ortega for an Angel Ortega _01 for my man over here on my right. So that's all, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed and enjoy the PFL fights on Thursday. Enjoy the UFC on Saturday. I think even Tim Tszyu is fighting this weekend too. So a lot of stuff, man. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.